Welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive. In this video, we're going to discuss Donald Trump and his crazy annex involving Canada, of all places. Now, Donald Trump, we all know that he's a bumbling buffoon. We know this. It's nothing new. We've known it for years now. He proved it during his first term, and now we're getting another dose of his bumbling, idiotic, whatever he wants to call it. His style, I guess the MAGA people would call it. But now he's trying to pick a fight with Canada, like one of our biggest allies in the entire world that sits right to our north. Now, here's part of the problem. Trump says he's going to impose 20 to 60% tariffs on goods coming from Canada if they don't get a control on the immigration problem. Well, one, Canada has some of the toughest immigration laws in the world, let alone letting Americans in or letting Canadians into America without the proper credentials. So Canada really isn't a problem when it comes to that. Mexico, on the other hand, does have a number of people that come through the border through their country, through the border, that they try to stop at their southern border and can't stop. So immigration isn't something that's just an easy fix. You're not going to be like, okay, we're going to deport everybody and that's going to stop it from happening. No, illegal immigration is going to continue. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it until you make it easier for people to immigrate to this country. But I digress. Back to the problem at hand. Last week it was announced from Ontario that if Trump goes through with his tariffs on Canada, that on people in Ontario, the government there would stop providing natural gas and electricity power to many northern states. Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all the way over to New York, are all states that rely on either heating oil from Canada or electric power of some business from Canada. That would put all those people in the dark and in the cold. Trump has responded by saying things like Canada is just going to become the 51st state, and that Mr. Trudeau can just be the governor of the governor of the state of Canada. First off, it's not a good joke. It's not a good look. It doesn't look good. It looks absolutely disgraceful to be insulting one of our closest allies and a country that provides a lot of oil to America. Because sure, they would cut off stuff to those upper northern states, but they would also drive them to take Canadian oil off the market, which would decrease the amount of oil on the market. Therefore, the price of oil would go up and the price of gasoline would go up as well. So why does Trump keep trying to treat Canada like this, like he does China, for example? Treats Canada as if there's some, wasted country or something, even though they're one of the happiest countries in the world. Their people love living there, and they're able to have universal health care that covers everybody in the country just about. Is it because he doesn't understand how well Canada has things going for them right now? Yeah, Trudeau comes off as rather weak at times. He's definitely not a progressive leaning guy, it doesn't seem like at all. He does come across as very, very weak at times. Came across very weak flying to Mar-a-Lago last week to speak with Donald Trump. I understand Donald Trump's president-elect, but he is not the president yet. If he wants to speak to a world leader, he should be going to those countries. If he's such a stand-up man and so healthy, he should be out there doing that, but he's not. He has these people coming to him. Mr. Trudeau, you do realize what you did by going to Mar-a-Lago, right? That signifies to the world that you're trying to kiss the ring. He's not a king. This is the United States. We don't have kings. But he continues this push, keeps insulting Canada, claiming as if they're going to be the 51st state. He keeps acting as if it's funny, and it's not. It's a threat to their way of life. It's a threat to the Canadian people. A threat that we all know he has no way to take care of, to follow. We know it's just a thing to, you know, basically perk up his base and make his base happy now that they have discovered that their grocery prices are going to skyrocket. They found out what a tariff really is, and they found out no, there is not a way to change their vote. That was one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest things searched after the election. How can I change my vote? What the hell is a tariff? But I guess we will see what happens. I don't think in the end, I don't think he'll end up hitting Mexico or Canada with these big tariffs. It'd be an insane thing to do. It would not only hurt those countries, it would hurt us because we wouldn't be able to buy their products anymore at a reasonable price. It would raise our rates, and thus they wouldn't have us to sell them to, right? But you know what happens when we put a giant thing under the Trump administration, put a giant tariff on soybeans, and we stopped importing soybeans. One, soybeans in America went up at an astronomical rate. And you know what China did by the time the Biden administration took over and tried to reverse that? Yeah, China had already found new buyers for their soybeans. And that's what will happen with Canada or Mexico. They'll find new markets. They'll find new people to buy those goods that we're not buying. And whenever we get back to sanity, it's going to be too late because they're going to have moved on to other countries that needed the goods that we were buying, and then we're not going to get them anymore. Just keep that in mind. So this whole thing with Trump versus Canada is ridiculous. It serves no purpose. It doesn't make any sense that we would be even considering any of this nonsense. Anyways, thank you for watching Unapologetically Progressive. Thank you for joining us here. We are a home for progressives.